Holy fucking shit. Season 5 is a big one.
Bang, bang, bang.
Where the fuck do we even start?
I guess the only logical place is Tony and Carmella are separated.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of like, I mean, isn't that the like, when my brain's just like, that's the only logical thing because it's at the very end of the last one that they split, you know? So it's like,
oh, it's an emotional roller coaster.
other than that, dude, this season, like, oh, it's just you can tell, man, that the engines are revved up. They know that the
New York thing is getting hot. Yep. Tony B is in town. Adriana is a fucking idiot.
Oh, an idiot.
She's not smart.
Aid.
I'm pretty sure she wins an Emmy for this season, though.
She fucking should. If she didn't, I don't even need to look. She did in my book.
I'm pretty sure she did.
I don't know. There's an Edie Falco scene. Edie Falco's just... Ugh.
She's my favorite.
Damn, she's so good.
She's so amazing.
She is. And Carm's got the whole new look this season.
Her hair?
I know, right? Feeling a little like she's got that what I know that women have a name for it. Like when you break up with a dude and you just like you start looking like a killer all the time and you know it, and she's got that look.
Well,
yeah, but like, you know, there's got to be a name for it amongst friends, you know.
Carmella takes a lover.
She takes a lover.
Steve Buscemi comes to fucking town.
Strong arms her lover with her pussy. Apparently, my fucking favorite Sopranos quote of all time.
What even happened there? Was he right?
No, like not really, not at all. I mean, it was like he wanted to sleep with her, so he went to one of AJ's teachers and was like, "Oh, I'll make his grade better," because Carmella was just talking. She literally didn't ask him to do anything, right? And then after he sleeps with her and he wants to break it off, he's like, "You strong-armed me with your pussy." And I swear I giggle every fucking time, but he's like telling her that like he fixed this grade and his conscience is bad and it's because she strong-armed him. And it's like, no, she didn't. She didn't ask you for shit, dude. Like, you're her son's guidance counselor, kind of how you got in her pants in the first place.
First of all, I think
talking about her son.
Yeah. Also, high school guidance counselor, like, what are you doing with your life?
What are you, like, well, yeah, when you're single.
That guy has a second job.
Middle-aged.
At, like, the library or something.
Something's going on. That guy's a creeper.
Fucking Steve Buscemi.
Dude, okay, yes. You know Buscemi is, like, one of my all-time faves. I love that fucking guy. And it all comes from my, like, back in the day, my love for Adam Sandler movies when I was a kid, because he had a lot of cameos and little bit parts.
It's so funny that you went Adam Sandler, because I was waiting for you to say, like, Tarantino or something.
No,
just the fact that we're talking about Adam Sandler and Tarantino movies with this guy is, like, one of the greatest actors of our time.
He is, and that, I mean, the reason I went to Adam Sandler is because that shows how long I've been a fan. Because I was falling in love with, like, you know, Adam Sandler movies when I was like 9 and 10 years old. I didn't watch Pulp Fiction until I was like 18. I couldn't, and I probably couldn't have understood anything I was watching, you know? So I've just loved Steve Buscemi. And then when I figured out later in life that he was like this awesome, serious actor that had this whole career of like fantastic, amazing work outside of Adam Sandler movies, I was like, wow. I mean, I love the guy. Sorry, I can't get rave about Steve Buscemi. I love him.
I love how much you love him.
His fucking smile. God, that guy, that face is such a loving face.
What is Janice? She's like, let me see him. The guy was a stone cold fox. And they got him with like the hair and like the blazer.
He's got the 80s suit on with the pulled up over the elbows.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he had when he went into the joint. Yeah. No, big time. And he, you know, big role in the season. Like, I mean,
every season we have a B guy to Tony.
Yeah.
We have, you know, it was like a bad guy, whether it was whoever it was in the first seasons. But this is like the big storyline that Tony has to deal with. And it like tests his mettle as a leader every time. And like this one really had to handle Tony B going fucking rogue, getting hired to take out Peeps.
Yep.
And then just goes rogue and kills Leotardo's brother.
And that's after they kill Feach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or something, or they kill somebody, and Tony B is just he fucking loses it over
Yeah,
it,
that's
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or
then he kicks the
is that Peeps? No, that's
no
not Peeps.
Peeps is who he
He's
gets
hired.
hired for.
Yeah,
I
and
think
fucks up because he gets his foot ran over.
yeah, Leotardo's brother is Tony B going fucking crazy.
Yeah, and what I'm trying to remember.
Do you want me to look it up?
I mean, if it's easy enough to find, it's irking me so bad that I can't remember because somebody gets killed or gets sent to prison or something fucking happens, and that's why he like loses it. He's fucking pissed, and I can't remember what it is, and it's pissing me off.
Oh, Angelo, his friend, death of his friend Angelo.
Yes, yes. Okay, the guy who yes.
What
Okay,
happens?
that's it. Okay. I think it's Angie is what they call him, maybe,
Yeah.
or Ange or something. So anyway, Angelo is okay. Carmine kicks the bucket. New York gets thrown into a fucking whirlwind. Okay, Johnny Sacks, Carmine Jr., and then remember they come to that arrangement to have 3 leaders.
Yeah.
Angelo is that third guy that
Which
just
Tony
got out of prison.
Tony S. That's like his fucking idea.
Yep, it is. And Tony B did 20 fucking years with him and Feach together.
Yes.
And he loved those fucking guys. And Feach had just been sent back to prison by Tony S. in kind of a fucked up kind of
Feach. Oh, okay. With the TV and the parole officer.
Yeah.
That guy was scary as shit. He breaks the guy's arm. Oh my god.
Yes.
That guy's scary.
I know that poor. I think his name's Vito or something. The landscape
guy.
It's hard to keep up with these names, folks. I'm not a pro. I'm not a pro.
But I'm having a great time.
I am fucking having a great time. But okay, so that was it. So Angelo, who is one of the bosses that just got out of prison, and that's why Tony B loses his fucking mind. And Angelo dies because of Johnny Sacks' families or his little crew's path to take over New York and be the boss of that family.
Yeah. And just the way that it pushes Tony, because this is the first time like the whole crew is like, yo, you're asking us to like, there's several meetings where he's like, you guys, we're taking care of this as a family. Everybody's paying for it. Everybody's looking out for each other. Sends Chris into hiding.
Yep.
Like, just because collateral.
Because they're gonna just fucking kill Chris.
Yeah.
Like that, and that's how real the shit gets between New York and Jersey. Yeah. Like they're just gonna fucking kill Chris because they want
Tony a war.
Beat. Yeah.
They could start a war.
Yep.
And then that, Chris loves Tony. Everyone knows that, but that tests his loyalty to him big time.
Yep. Which probably ultimately leads to no, Adriana. Like seriously, that probably is the reason why she felt she could approach him about that, which led to her going on a car ride with Syl.
Because Tony or Chris is complaining about Tony so much and like making it seem like he's so unhappy.
Yep.
She's not smart.
No, she's not smart, but man, she's just
just a small town girl,
if you're, there's no way to avoid the spoilers here. Adriana gets whacked. She gets whacked by Syl because she's informing to the FBI, even though she's not giving them anything and she's doing it on purpose and she's fighting them tooth and nail. And she's
kind of doing it to get a friend.
She really kind of is, and because she's lonely. And it's like, I think Adriana's death in this show is one of the things that because we talked about that sitcom thing, and I'm going to bring that up a little later because there are some moments in the season that really stuck out to me about that again. But like, that's what this show is and why we love it is it's that sitcom and that gangster story mixed together.
Yep.
Adriana's death really is kind of one of those moments that's like, don't fucking forget that this is about ruthless people who will murder you.
I've always loved how they reveal her getting killed, which I want to break down. Excuse me. But also on this rewatch, I saw it foreshadows the way she dies in this scene when they're having a girls' night at the at the home theater. And she gets
Mm-hmm.
drunk and she's walking out and the camera like whips back the edit and she's like full on like hands out head into the concrete and that's exactly how she fucking dies.
That's
Just a
true.
little thing I noticed.
Yeah.
But I've always loved, that's one of my favorite sequences where she tells Chris that she's been informing the FBI. They get into a fight. He almost fucking kills her. And you don't have like a moment from Chris where you can see him make a decision. But he's like, I'm just going to get cigarettes. I'll be back. They've been up all night talking about it, what they're going to do. It
And
seems
you kind
like
of think he might go for it.
it seems like they're packing a bag, you know. Actually, they do have a moment because he does go to get cigarettes and he sees like some like poor people on the run with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like filling his fucking $500,000 SUV and he's like, fuck that. I got my button.
Yep.
And it's the way that I think you can kind of tell what's going to happen after that moment, but just the way that Tony calls and Gandolfini's so good. It's like, wait a second, did Chris try and kill himself after that moment at the gas station? Like, what's going on? And then they do like the fake shadow scene where she's driving, like looking at the road signs, like she's gonna take off, and you're like, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
It's a daydream. Sill's taking her to the Pine Barrens. It's fucking over.
Yeah.
And that kind of, it's a perfect thing that you just described. It reminds you, like, don't fuck with these people.
No.
It's a part of the family. They loved her, and he uses the C word about her later. He's like, fuck her.
Yeah. And so does Sill. Sill uses that word when he pulls her out of the car, and it really again, it serves to tell you, like, right when you start to get a little I don't know, you start to admire that life, like Tony's kind of, it's easy for, especially for men probably, to like kind of think about that life, and be like, oh, it's kind of something glamorous about that, always being involved in something and kind of high stakes this and all the time. And right when you start to kind of feel that, this show does a really good job of being like, no, don't do this. Like, I think back a couple seasons ago to Davey just losing his whole business and watching that whole shit unfold. Terminator. And that was another one of those.
The guy's a Terminator.
I guess it's true.
Sorry.
I mean, and so this show does a really good job of, like, when you kind of get those moments, it pulls you right back and is like, nah, motherfucker, just realize these are ruthless people and this is a ruthless lifestyle. It really is. Yeah,
the Adriana track of the season is famous, well regarded. All the scenes, some of like the biggest scenes of the show.
Got it. So
really great. Maybe we could bounce back to talk about Karma a little bit and the divorce.
Yeah.
Like, I remember thinking, like, the show could have worked with them divorced.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yep. The show could have worked, but the story wouldn't have been right. They're not getting divorced.
No, I know.
Tony Soprano is just not that cat. You know what I mean? He's like, you're
entitled to shit, is what he tells her.
Yeah, which is that's probably the best scene in the whole season is that moment, because I think for whatever reason, I'm blanking, we had our discussion about this recently, but just like in A Marriage Story, they kind of show the inner workings of how that divorce lawyer thing works and how Tony goes and meets with all the attorneys in town.
Just strong arming.
Yeah, just to fuck her. And he doesn't, and she doesn't even know it's happened until months after it's too late. And anyway, he's sitting there and she's like, okay, well, go ahead and get nasty, Tony. These guys love to get ugly. They live to get ugly. And he's like, you think I don't? And he stands up, and it's like, that's that moment where you're like, shit, this guy's a fucking mob boss. Like, he's a murderer. I mean, that's what he is. And like, this woman is honestly helpless in the situation. And that's why I say the narrative could not go right, because Tony's character needed to strong arm Carmela back into being his wife, because that's what he needed.
God, Tony.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Tony's got so much fucking going on. I think I have a lot going on in my life right now.
Shit, I know. Sometimes we do. No, not compared to that fucking guy. And that's why he's fucking passing out, and yeah, dude, like and
that's why.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think about.
It is.
It's just a normal, like he is just like he's not a normal guy, but like his son is terrible in this season. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I want to rip that fucking kid's head off.
Dude, that's one of those sitcom moments right there, is the whole thread of AJ going to live with Tony. And it just being so stereotypical. Like, it's like if a sitcom in the 50s or 60s had actually shown that, like a divorced couple, which they wouldn't have done, and the teenage son going to live with dad after those, like if they had shown that, that's what it would, like when AJ's pissy over the cereal and he just walks over there and grabs the bowl and dumps it in the sink, and he like smiles at him with that sheeting of gray. He's like, "Now you got nothing." It's like that's what it would have been like. And I just love that. I love that thread. Like, AJ's just such a privileged little asshole. I mean, come on.
God.
Yeah.
When he goes to New York and he shaves his eyebrows off.
God. Such a dweeb.
Get the marker on the face. You ever done that?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't think I must have at some point.
I mean, I feel like I must have done something like that, but I've never had inclination to really fuck with people's person too much. Honestly, like I'll pull a prank on you that will fuck with your like brain and like make you worried or scare you or something. But I've never took much pleasure in like just fucking with people while they're like sleeping or anything. I
guess rich teenagers do.
I think they do. Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story.
And Tony always is so weak with AJ too. Carm's trying to like teach this kid. He's so fucking rude to her, man. Holy shit.
Fucking hateful.
He's hateful.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a Southern mom word, right? Hateful. You're hateful. But I look back and like, I know that like over the course of my life, I probably said some mean shit to my mom.
I didn't want to say that out loud, but I've definitely been that mean to my mother.
Yeah, I mean, been that mean to your mother, but like, I don't know about you, but where I was going is like, I can't remember being consistently day in and day out like that, just mean to my mother. Like, I don't remember that. Like, I just don't think that was the way I treated her. So,
and then when they try and like Carm and Tony try to come together to like fix the situation, he's like, "There's a couple of beers. It's fine."
Yep.
But then 10 seconds earlier, he had him pinned up against the wall by his fucking throat.
That's it. I know. Well, Tony's he's violent, man. He really is. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, if I can, I just want to stay on that sitcom thread because it's kind of almost what we're talking about right now. But another one of those moments that I really love is when it's after Carmela's father's party. And they're all by the pool, and Tony and AJ throw Carm into the pool. Yeah. It's like, I mean, like I had moments like that in my family where somebody's getting thrown into the pool, and it's always like a woman, and it's always, like she likes it, but she doesn't, and she just, because she's all, I gotta clean up and do this.
I love it though. They throw her in the pool, and she's screaming bloody murder, and then like she comes up, and it cuts, and she just goes, "Mako."
Like, I know. Immediately gives in. I know.
Yeah.
Good stuff. It's good stuff.
They're a family.
Yep.
Yeah. It's Meadow.
Yeah, dude. Oh, Finn, right?
Finn.
Sees a little too much. Sees one blowjob too many in his life.
That shit's scary. He's shook too.
Hell yeah, he's fucking shook. Okay, like that's one of the greatest moments in The Sopranos, right?
When he opens the porta potty door.
Oh, what does it say? Sound like racehorse pissing in there.
Finn Petrulio, my mortal enemy. That's what he calls him. I can't tell if he wants to fuck me or kill me.
I wouldn't be able to tell either. It was Vinny, right?
Vin, yeah.
Yeah, Vin. Yeah. Oh, Vin.
He just lost a bunch of weight. He's wearing like the glossy like sports coats and stuff.
Yep. Looking tan.
His storyline gets crazy next season.
We're headed to some fun with Vin. Okay, I can't wait for that. But back to Finn. So Meadow doing her damn thing, right? She's doing the law thing, and she's trying to make good in the world, and then she's acting less like a spoiled brat as
A
time
little
goes by,
less.
more and more, you know?
Wonder if she's practicing her parallel parking. Little foreshadowing there. No, but I don't like as AJ spirals into fucking upper class snobbery. Med's kind of getting her shit together. She's trying to figure it out. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Like she's just having like a normal 20s serious relationship thing. It's great that they included into the show. I mean, the storyline hasn't even the blowjob thing hasn't even fully blossomed yet. But
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think no, you're right. I love that they put this in here. Again, I think it serves that sitcom theme that we've been talking about as
for sure.
overall analysis of this show. But my big takeaway from Meadow is like I feel like with this show they use each character to kind of show you a different facet of this story.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really useful like device for them as creators, because then you don't have to jumble you can let the narrative be the narrative, right? But like use the characters to show a different angle, right? And I think Meadow's angle is smart. She knows she's overprivileged, but unlike AJ, she knows that her privilege comes from what my mother would call ill-gotten gains, right? Like
Blood money.
exactly. So she knows that. I think she's made a decision in this season, or maybe the end of the last season, to come up with a way
to pay
justify
back
her own means, right?
Yeah.
And do her thing. And I think that that's one of the angles that you see is like, you know, this one of the best parts about this show is like it's like you could call it crime like the mafia, you can call it you know, just like drug addiction, a lot of different things. Like just because a father and a mother are involved in something that they shouldn't be, that doesn't mean that the next generation and then the generations after that must forever be in those same traits, right? And that's a cool little nugget in the show that they kind of show Meadow trying to
well, it's part of like it's a part of it being like the American dream. It's like the American story. It's that part of it for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. That just like another good thing about the show is they show the good in all of these people. They show you the good in Syl, and then they show you him whack Adriana after he's known her for all these years, and she's been like a little cousin to him, basically. You know,
since she was born.
Yeah. I mean, and
just doesn't even think twice about it.
No, but they show you the good in these people too, and I think that that's an important thing, is because, like like I was saying, like that whole thing about generation breaking the chain. I think that's part of it, is that there is good in people who do bad things. There has, and especially the ones that raise families, like like there's a big thread in the show where it's people not wanting certain people to get involved in this lifestyle. And that keeps coming up. It's like, because they know they want you to get out, go make
Jackie
this family,
Jr., Med, and AJ.
Make this family legitimate, right?
I'm glad you brought that up though, because AJ, he does like the party thing. We start to see him kind of, he's seen lessons, he's seen corruption, and he's starting to like
turn it into like a little wise guy in a way. Like he's a pre-wise guy. You know what I mean?
You could kind of see AJ. I could see him in some alternate universe, like get in the game.
Yeah, it's possible.
Get the shit kicked out of him a couple times.
Learn that mommy's not always there to like put away your towels and feed you. Like sometimes you're gonna get your ass kicked. Sometimes things are gonna suck. Like learn that a couple of times, and he might buck up. Yeah, for sure. He's got the brains for that.
I was about to say that. I think that's why they characterize AJ.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tony's not a smart guy.
I got an IQ of 136. It's been tested.
I mean, come on.
There's several moments where they reference his intelligence in this season.
I mean, he's a smart. He's cunning. You know what I mean? Like he's sharp, but he's not smart, right?
And the letter he writes to Melfi.
Yeah.
It's just like riddled with grammatical errors and spelling mistakes.
Oh, okay. Wait, since you brought up Melfi, can I just say we've gone the whole breakdown of this show without bringing up her doctor Elliot. That guy fucking cracks me up.
He just
dude.
wants to, that dude goes home every night and watches Entertainment Tonight, and like,
oh, that's perfect. That's
He's
fucking
just-
perfect.
he's a gossip.
Oh, he so is, and I love the way she treats him. Oh, thank you, Elliot. Yes.
They've probably known each other for like years and years.
Have to have, yes.
Yeah.
Have to have. And then that made me have like a little side thought. Like, I wonder what percentage of therapists and psychiatrists have their own therapists and
I
psychiatrists.
just
And
thought of the Entertainment Tonight theme song and how good it is.
can you give me?
It's fucking
Yeah,
so
baby.
good.
Oh, that is Elliot. Okay, sorry, that's my little bit on Elliot.
No, but
Cracks me
that
up.
like social circle of psychiatrists on psychiatrists, like they're just hanging out, really.
I think it's what it is. Just hanging out. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute. Not a lot of Janice in this season.
Except for, fisticuffing soccer mom, like
Oh
that
yeah.
like I mean, and then another one of those fucking daggers in Tony's integrity is when Janice goes to anger management, it's actually working for her.
Yeah.
And it pisses Tony off, and he goads her like completely at dinner, and he knows how to do it, and he gets fucking nasty with her, right? And makes her fucking lose it. And he stands up from the table with a mouthful of fucking food and just walks around looking at her, chewing the food, and leaves. And it's just the sickest. But Tony is such a fucking terrible person. He's such a fucking terrible person, dude.
He's really
bad.
is.
He's shit. He's a shitty fucking person.
Well, let's bring him down a notch because I forgot one of my favorite Tony stupid moments when he's talking to Johnny Boy's ex-lover at the racetrack, and he's telling her about his Gumar, and he's like, "She's Latin, from Spain."
Okay, you're Prince of Tide, and he's saying Tide. Okay, and then revenge is best. Revenge is like serving cold cuts.
I have that written down too.
Okay, so what did I just say? It's like he really is not the brightest dude. He's just not. And okay, another Tony goofy moment is when he and Carmela are arguing right in the entry of the house, and he like throws the pizza down, and she storms off, and he storms out, and then he like comes back in and gets the pizza, and he's all pissed off. He pulls his pants up and like looks around the house and bends over and picks up the pizza and then leaves again. It's like Tony. He's like, he got half a step out the door and was like, I'm gonna want that pizza.
Fucking hungry. Been thinking about that fucking low man the whole way over here. I think about that like weekly.
It's so good.
Like
so
kicking
good.
the door off the refrigerator.
Oh my God. Off of it. Yes. He's got some big problems with food. Okay.
Yeah.
R.I.P. James Gandolfini. I really hope that playing Tony Soprano didn't just put you in. I guess that's the accepted story.
It seems like that's exactly what happened.
It's like that fucking sucks. Cause like I get it. If you're gonna be a good actor and you're gonna want to be in a character, that guy is such a piece of fucking shit.
Well, they don't like talk about it openly. Oh, I'm glad I remembered this because I didn't get it in on the last episode, but like his weight and everything, it's a constant joking thing. And a couple seasons ago, Carmelo was like, "We need to talk about something." It was about something serious. And he goes, "Is it about the weight?" But like Gandolfini talks about, like he did it on purpose. Like he wasn't super overweight in the beginning.
No, he wasn't. I remember thinking that because it had been a few years since I watched the show, and when I started watching,
like, damn.
It's like, damn, you look like you like play football and like you just, now you eat burgers,
right?
Or pasta, really. But you get what I mean. Like he looked like a stout, big fucking guy with a little gut on him.
Yeah,
but
he gets bigger and bigger and
definitely
bigger.
Does. Yeah,
and he did it on purpose. And like the thing I was gonna say, they don't like talk about explicitly a lot. But Tony's drinking every single night.
every night.
He's out drunk every night,
Yep.
eating like 5 meals a day.
And that's where I was going, is like, this guy is he's he's in the worst way, man. Like he's in the throes of a bummer. Like, I'll put it that way. This guy has got a bad relationship with food. He's got a bad relationship with booze. He's got a bad relationship with power, and I mean physical power. He is smoking cigars all the fucking time. The guy is not.
People were chain smoking cigarettes this season. Like everyone.
Shit's stressful, bro. You know what I mean?
Did you notice that this season? People are just fucking smoking.
Yeah. I think it's because, like, really this season is like mega fucking tense comparatively. Like, you got to think, like, the rest of the seasons have been a lot of, like, basically this season, Tony and Carmella are separated. Yes. Right. And that is a total storyline. But really what happens in this season is the gangster shit starts getting real fucking thick.
The New York shit, man.
People could die at any moment.
A war could start like at any second.
Yes, and people could get arrested. I mean, and technically, there's still, at this point that we're at right now, there's still a fucking informer in the crew that nobody even fucking knows is informing. Dropping tapes to these motherfuckers.
There was like four of them at one point.
I know.
One died in the car, Adriana, and then the character we meet at the beginning of next season.
Yep. And it's like, so it's like, shit's fucking real.
And then Johnny Sack goes to prison.
Yes.
Dude, that's what
Tony's chubby ass running through the snow.
But
just
the way he
hustling, boy.
The way he sees the cop.
And
I was like, when I realized it was time for that scene, I was like, yes, this is the best part.
Right.
It's such a good scene.
Yep.
And the little kids are, when he stops to call his lawyer and he's sitting on the stoop at the school and you hear little kids singing Mr. Tambourine Man and he kind of gets this look of relief on his face. It's so good. It's such a good scene.
Can I give you like a little insight into my brain?
Yes.
For just a second. Okay. Watching that, I was waiting on that particular scene this whole time I was watching. I couldn't remember which season it was that it happened. And so when I started happening, I was like so engrossed in the scene. And then when he sits down and he calls his lawyer, my first thought was, wait, you had your fucking cell phone the whole time? Why didn't you just walk out the other side of the woods and call Vinny or Paulie or somebody to just come pick you up? Like, what the fuck did you walk all cause they showed
3 miles
trekking, you know what I mean? And then I thought to myself, I was like, oh shit, he's being clean. He's making sure that he knows what's going on. He's calling his lawyer first. And then he's not going to call anybody else. He's walking the whole way because he doesn't want any trace of anything. He wants to have vanished from that one spot and popped up at a fucking another with no trace. And I remember thinking that and being like, that's Tony.
Well, we've just kind of been hammering on his intelligence this season, but that was really smart.
But exactly. That's why I think that I'm thinking, I chose the word cunning, and I think that that's the right word. Like, he's got this. I mean, we would call it street smarts.
That's what I was just thinking.
In normal slang. But I think that the way his brain works is he has a very high perception for threats and threat assessment. Yes. And I think that he also has a distinct capability to know how to exercise his force. And those things combined make him an incredibly good gangster. Yeah. And he's very good at what he does. And that comes off as intelligence, and it is intelligence. I mean, it's just, it's a different kind of intelligence, but he's not a smart dude. He's just not, So
he did leave his car in the fucking driveway. There's no law against parking somewhere unless it's in front of a fire hydrant.
I know. I love that. Lawyers, I kind of love the lawyer portrayals in mafia stuff because they're just cool. They're cool as a cucumber. You know what I mean? They're just Tony's freaking the fuck out thinking the FBI could be at his house right now.
But it's you weren't named in the indictment, so you're fine.
Completely different shit.
Yeah. We had Uncle June.
Oh man, Uncle June, dude. Junior's fading, and it makes me sad. You know,
The
like I
gums,
love Junior.
me
You know,
too.
I
Like,
love Junior.
it does give us one of the funniest moments of the show
Hit me.
when they flip to Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he thinks it's Larry David and his sidekick, and he thinks it's him and Bobby.
Yeah, that is some gold.
That's
That is
fucking funny.
that is like some next level pop culture illusion shit right
That's
there.
like some
It's like,
HBO fucking Inception.
yeah. And one of my favorite Junior moments is like this. It's a really, really subtle thing, but it's like, you know, Junior's like loving the funerals, and he's finding any reason to get. He's like, oh, the whole village of Avellino moved over here. We got to be related somehow. Telling his lawyer just to be able to go to these funerals.
His dad did my shirts.
Yeah, he's sitting there at the funeral, and it's like, this is like, I think it's like one of the last ones that he goes to, and this is just not the funeral for Junior to be happy to be at a funeral. And he's been jovial at all these funerals. Like, he's enjoying them because he's beating the people who are dying because he feels like he's gonna die soon. Yeah. And he just looks up and he's like, this chicken is extra spicy. It just fucking kills me. It's like nobody wants to hear about the spicy chicken, and Junior's just chomping down. He's so happy.
And like the way it causes tension in the family, though, like no one wants to fucking take care of this guy except Bobby.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I think I love Junior more than you do.
Because again, Tony's not smart enough. Like, you know, when Junior's saying that whole he never had the makings of a varsity athlete, like Tony gets so mad. Like, so he could have strangled him right then. It's like, dude, you're not. Again, Tony's not smart enough to realize, like Bobby is, that.
I think everyone else in that scene
knows
that something's wrong.
Yeah.
And Tony can't get off of his pride.
He can't.
I just realized that's what Syl tells him. Says your problem when he won't deal with the Tony B situation head on is you have a problem with authority. 7 deadly sins, Tony, and yours is pride.
Yep.
That's some conciliary shit right there.
Well, I think Syl is a good one, and I think
too.
But I think that there's also a moment in this season where you start to wonder, like, you know, like Tony, we've talked about this before, and we talked about maybe it's just the mafia thread, maybe that's just the mafia lifestyle, but like Tony's had people under him unhappy with his leadership from the beginning of this show.
Yeah.
He, you know, at this season, it kind of gets to this place. Actually, really, it's after Ralphie. After he kills Ralphie, people start to like, it's like he's ruling with an iron fist. Like, people are scared. Like, and like in this season, Syl is trying to talk to him. And Tony is like, I don't want to fucking hear your shit. And it's like, I don't know how that relationship between Boss and Consigliere works. But like, in my mind, that's like the one person that you don't tell to shut the fuck up and get out the room. I don't want to hear what you have to say. That's the person that you always listen to and know that like whatever they're saying, even though you don't agree, is coming from somewhere that you need to take into consideration. You know what I mean? And like he's kind of even shoving stuff like that away. He's turning into like this, I don't know.
I mean, he's even like I think Phil Leotardo, who's such a great character. I love when Chris is like, the fucking eyebrows and shit. I can't stand to look at him. That's an angry fucking dude.
Yeah.
Tony, I think he owes Tony a few points on something. And Tony and Leotardo's like a fucking legend.
Yeah.
Captain in the New York crime family, like old fucking head. You don't fuck with this guy. And Tony chases this guy down over some shit he doesn't need to, and like puts him in a fucking neck brace, and like he's unhinged. He's unchecked.
He is, and you know, and I think that's when it leads to, you know, him telling Johnny Sacks, you know, like you want dignified, you know, fuck you. I'm not telling you where he's at. It's my cousin. And walking the fuck off. Like he's ready to go. I think that's what I was saying at the very beginning of this thing. You can tell the engines are revving up, and the people making this show are seeing like a landing, an end in the future. So and they know things are coming, and I think Tony is getting to that place where he's, maybe I'm influenced by the recent Biggie documentary I watched, but he's ready to die. Like he's at that point that like, I don't give a fuck. Like I know I look, at any moment a warrant could come down, my house is getting raided. At any moment I could be shot and killed. At any moment, so many different things. I could have a panic attack and die behind the wheel, a million things, right? And I think that he is just at the point where he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna just consume,
Enrage.
consume, and fucking roar. And that's what I'm gonna do until it inevitably goes where it's gonna fucking inevitably go. That's how you feel, watching him in this season. He's just, you said unhinged, he is. And he's full fucking throttle.
Yeah, he's angry.
Off of it. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's not a happy camper.
Can we talk? One of my top 3 favorite moments of the entire series comes from the Marco Polo episode.
Okay.
And it involves our boy Artie Bucco. So they have this killer party. These people know how to have a fucking cookout.
Oh my God! Please.
Like you and I, our crew, we can cook.
We do it, but no. That's like, do we got $10,000 to throw a party? Yeah, okay, let's have a party. That's a party, dude. Yeah.
Anyway, it's the aftermath, and I think it's like transitioning from the evening to the morning, and it just kind of pans across Artie Bucco, and he's passed out with the head towel around his head, and he like swats away a fly, and I just like, it's my favorite fucking thing in the world. It's so fucking good.
Artie is so good. Artie is one of the boys. He really is. Like, you get it. Oh my God. You totally get it. You get it. I
don't know why I love it so much. I mean, it's great.
Unfortunately, one of the Artie things that sticks out in my mind for the season is, again, Tony with his dreams, right? And like, we can't also, let me just riff on that for a second. I mean, he has a crazy fucked up dream. He's like, wakes up in the bed next to Carmine, and then he's in the therapy room talking to Gloria.
Yeah.
And they're having this, and that's some, I'm sorry, I'm geeking out for a moment. That is some good fucking cinema right there. God damn it, that's fucking good. In that room when Gloria's there and they're having this back and forth, like almost like comedians. And he's like, you tried to stab me in the face with a fork. That was your mother. And he like spits the water out, and it's this really fucked up shit. But it's good shit. And so anyway, then it like cuts from that part of the dream, and he's like, fucking Artie's wife. What's her name? Charmaine.
Not Charlemagne. That's the king.
Not Charlemagne. Charmaine. Bucco. He's like fucking Charmaine, and Artie's like right there, and that's the one that stands out to me is like Tony's fucking her, and like Artie is like got his head right at Charmaine's, and he's going at it, and he's just like, it's good, right? Good, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't get that shit out of me. And she's going, oh, Tony, it's so much better than when we were in high school. It's just his dreams.
It's a dream, though. That's a very realistic dream.
So fucking weird. Well, I don't know how realistic. I've never had any third person that close.
I just mean like the absurdity of it.
Yes, I
didn't mean I've never had a dream like that.
No, you didn't mean that the dream was realistic. You meant that the dream was realistic. I get it. I was like, no, I've never fucked some dude's wife. And him tell me it was this good, right? I've never done that. That's not realistic. Oh, that's gold. That's gold.
I think I just laughed and contact out.
Oh no! Your boy's blind in one eye.
Oh, that was good.
That was good. I needed that laugh.
Oh,
but I get what you mean.
Thank you.
It is a very realistic dream sequence. The absurdity of it, yeah. And they do nail that.
I popped the contact back in. We're good.
Oh.
Clutch.
Rescued. That was a clutch move, yeah.
Thank you. For sure. One more thing. The Marco Polo episode is so big and important. And you kind of talked about people, them grappling with their place in society and stuff like that, and that facet of the show. And Grandpa's friends, because they're doctors that are refined Italians, and that's why Grandma didn't want Tony at the fucking cookout.
Right.
And it's how often are you looking up Italian slang words while you're watching the show? But and she has one for him, and it just means like kind of a low life, like trashy Italian American, and that's what she sees Tony as, and that's why she didn't want him there. And Carm sticks up for her husband, like who she is. She's like, I'm proud of my money and where I come from and where it comes from, and it's just a really important moment in the show.
Well, it is, and I mean, I think that's the big, that's the culmination of the Tony and Carm thing. Like they're back together, you know, like they're back together, and I think part of it is that scene where Tony, we talked about it earlier, where they're at dinner and, you know, Tony says, you know, everything you have is from my sweat. And he's like, you know, you walk around in that mansion, you know, in your beautiful hills. And he's like, and you act like butter wouldn't melt in your mouth. And he's like, you know where all this comes from. And I think that might be a moment for Carmela where she realizes, like, you know, maybe I do know, you know, what I got myself into. And, you know, maybe I should just go ahead and go about this, you know, and then they get back together, you know, like,
yeah.
And her dad won't come to the fucking party unless Tony's there.
She's
getting pressure. Yeah. She's getting pressure from every side, you know, and she, you know, and then, also another great, again, I am such a geek sometimes, but I love the riding device of the bear. I love it.
I'm so glad you brought that up. And the last scene of the show, or after he runs away from Johnny Sack's house,
yep.
And they like late 90s, early 2000s slow-mo it.
Yep.
So early in the season, there's a bear that is like terrorizing the neighborhood, and it symbolizes Tony.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they harken back to it when he's climbing through the bushes.
Yep.
And like Tony's the bear.
Yep. Tony is the bear. You know, but they, just to kind of touch back, is like they use that bear as another one of those things where it's another thing in Carmela's life where she's realizing, like, my life is going to be more difficult, not less difficult, if I go through with this no Tony thing. Like, and she's realizing that, and it's partly because he's a gangster and he's fucking boxed her out. Like, you don't really have a move that's going to be good for you here. And I think she realizes that.
For sure. Can you imagine if Tony found out about the guidance counselor?
Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. He would kill him.
He would kill him, 100%.
He'd fucking kill him. There's no doubt.
We get a little Father Phil action this season.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's really brief and hilarious. For me, they're at the restaurant and they're putting the cracked pepper on his dish, and he's just like has his head turned slightly, and he's like, that guy's such a prick. But in that scene, Father Phil's like, well, Tony will need to be here for the consultation. She's like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? There's this double standard, like there is.
Yep.
In the Catholic Church, in their community, like she's supposed to shut up and be thankful.
And that's right. And that's what I'm saying. I think she realized. That's what I think she kind of realized, and that's why I think she's like, yeah, let's just go ahead and get back together. And I mean, and I do think, like, you know, okay, I'm gonna try. I really do try sometimes to like divorce myself of my knowledge of the next coming seasons when I try to analyze things, because I want to like think about it as like if I was watching this for the first time. But like, I think if I had been watching the show for the first time and I was watching it to this point, I would think, you know, that, yeah, they just get back together because that's what's easiest for Carmela. And maybe Tony has also realized that that's what's easiest for him. Because, you know, he's got the Gumar catches her fucking self on fire because she's yelling at him over this, and she's trying to cook eggs and all this different stuff. And you know, I think he's maybe realizing, like, maybe my life is just better if I just, because these girls don't clean my house, the women the people he's hiring to clean from the agency, you know, they're not coming regularly, and all this shit gets fucked up.
It simplifies his life.
Exactly. And I think that they're both kind of understanding that that's just the easiest thing. And maybe Carmela's like, well, just whatever, do whatever you fucking want. I don't have to love you. You know, I don't have to love you. I have to maybe appreciate you. Right? Is that weird? Like, think about that. Like, I don't have to love you, but I have to appreciate the fact that everything I use and buy and do is from what you produce through your means. And I can appreciate that, but I don't have to love you. And she can continue to go to Italy for 3 weeks and, buy jewels and all that stuff,
I don't know, man. I've been single a long time at this point, but long-term relationships seem that are successful that I've seen. Whatever works.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be healthy.
No, I mean, well, it's not gonna be. She's boxed in again, so.
Oh, yeah. What else did you miss anything? This season is so chock full. We didn't really talk about Chris.
Yeah, I mean, Chris is still doing his thing. He has he falls off the wagon a little bit, but
yeah, that's kind of never ending.
But wouldn't you say, I mean, really, maybe the reason we didn't talk about Chris is because minus the fact that he is without Adriana, which we did talk about, Chris is really in the same place he was in at the beginning of the season as he is in the end of the season. Christopher's got no arc this season.
I was waiting for it.
He's got no arc this season.
Well, that's because Tony B's in the picture.
Yeah. And I will say that was an interesting. Tony B was a cool bring in this season. I really think that was a really cool move that they made. I think it was a good move to have him a one and done.
Me too.
You can't that wouldn't have made for a good landing to this show if they had inserted that character that late and tried to keep it and write for it and all of that stuff.
Yeah, and we didn't really touch on the way that Tony B gets killed and how Tony goes up to the farm that they grew up going to, instead of letting Phil get his piece, an eye for an eye, and really settling the peace and like diffusing the entire situation. Tony goes and kills his cousin and then tells him where his body is so he can find him. Like, it's just, what's up?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, he does. The reason and I do believe this, like in my own, like as an audience member watching it, like I believe Tony when he says that the reason he did that is because they wouldn't guarantee to him that they would just go put a bullet in his head.
They were guaranteeing they were going to torture him.
They were going to torture him, and Tony was not going to let that happen to his cousin, so he went and killed him. And I also believe Tony's character, or Tony, when he said, to his crew, I want you all to know that I'd be doing the same fucking shit for you because they said they're going to torture him. If it was just a matter of you having to pay your price that you reaped on yourself, that's one thing, but they're going to torture him. And that's one thing I'm not doing for anybody. And I believe that. And because that's one of those things, like I said, is that this show does a really cool job of bringing in the good of people and showing those little slivers of integrity that people can have, I don't know.
No, I think it's a great point.
Yeah.
A lot of cameos this season.
Dude, hit me with okay, folks. Your boy had a really good time with some cameos this season. Can you hit me with your faves? Give me your faves.
Freaking out.
Give me your faves. I'm ready.
Well, my two favorites are definitely Lawrence fucking Taylor.
LT,
the fucking greatest defensive end in the history of football, and North Carolina Tar Heel.
And possibly some of the best cameos in movies of all time.
We were just discussing it before we started recording.
Yeah, we were. I think he's solidified.
Frankie fucking Valli.
Frankie Valli
is in the season. He's in the rest of the show. He plays an old head in New York. And in real life, Frankie Valli, it's very well documented. Like, the Four Seasons were supported by the mob. Like, they grew up in North Jersey. Like, this was real for like.
Yep.
Frankie Valli knows this shit.
He knows what's up. Yeah.
What were the other ones that I texted you at least about one more? I was freaking out. Tony Saragusa.
That's it. Tony Saragusa. That was it. Yep.
That was it.
Okay, what part? Where's his cameo? Tell me again.
When they're at the Bob and Sarah body shop, he's a driver for somebody from New York. I don't think he has any lines.
Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing him now.
He might even be driving Tony.
He might be Tony driving Tony. Tony on Tony.
There's a lot of Tonys to keep track of. Well, just one. God damn, what a killer season.
It is, and it's a good setup for what's coming. And one little thing, I got to get this out because I don't know what, I just have to say it. I don't know what the fuck was that weird freeze frame on Carmela. And like, I don't even remember which episode it was. It was later in the season.
Oh yeah.
Mid to late. There's this dramatic thing happens. I can't even remember the context, but she's like walking out of a room and they freeze frame on her. I was like, who let Junior in the cutting room? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Well,
like,
then
somebody got slapped in the back of the head for that. Like, what the fuck
the slow-mo Tony thing at the end, that shit was so weird.
Who's playing with this shit?
It's like it's 1985 again or something.
Oh, but aside from those couple of weird little quirks, great season, and it's really setting us up. And I'm stoked because like I said, we discussed this before. I've only seen the show once. So every time I watch an episode, I'm seeing it for literally the second time. I've never watched any of them more than that. So,
that's exciting.
So I remember stuff, but I'm fresh kind of,
Yeah, especially for this middle part of the season. Like, there have been moments in the show that have been really impactful for me, but this season as a whole has been the most impactful, I think.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen, and I can't believe we're finishing this show. This is crazy.
I know. Well, yeah. I mean, it's
kind of. We have a lot of episodes left.
It's a two-parter, but yeah.
We have 21 episodes left. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're fucking finishing this show.
It's crazy.
And we're doing it, and it's a great show. And I'm ready to, like, I don't know, whether we do a full episode or 2 episodes or whatever, I'm ready to heap some praise, man. Like, for real, this shit's good. And I'm ready to, I'm kind of like probably going to go start season 6, like right after we're done.
Me too. Actually,
you bastard. You would.
Just 2 episodes.
Beat me to the punch.
Oh, God damn.
Chronicles.
That's the Gabagool, part 5. The Gabagool Chronicles.
Yeah, baby.
Love it.
Cut. That's it.